Hey everyone, I'm just on my way up this mountain here. And I'm gonna be sleeping up there tonight. It's already around 8 o'clock at night time now, so my hopes is to basically be up there for the night and get sunrise in the morning, because the light here could be absolutely amazing. Just seeing what's behind me right now is absolutely great. The land here is exquisite. It's beautiful here. And I'm really hoping once I get up there that I'm actually going to see some higher peaks in the background. But it might be a little bit of a walk before I get anywhere. So I'm just going to have to see how it looks once I get up. But I think this is going to be really great. And also I want to find a spot where I can set up my hammock. But yeah, let's just see how this ends up. I've come up to at least the next ledge, but I'm actually thinking I might go up to that mountain up there. It's gonna take me a while, but for the lights and everything, I think it's gonna be absolutely worth it. It's really beautiful up there, but it's probably gonna take me at least an hour or two just to get up there. There's so much forest to get through here at the moment. But if I want that view, it's a chance I'm gonna have to take. I see that there's not so many trees up there, but there is at least a tree line where I can set my hammock up. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Get up to that tree line, set my hammock up there, and explore the landscape a little bit. But yeah, I got a while to go still, so let me head off. And hopefully this goes well. So I've decided to pitch up the hammock. It's getting a little late and I'm running out of light to even get close to the mountain here in the background. I have gotten somewhat closer, but I really miscalculated with this, and it's getting pretty cold now and really windy, so yeah, I just had to pitch up. So what I'll do is I'll rest here for the night, and if I manage in the morning, then I will try and head up a little bit further onto that mountainside. But I mean, just in the forest around here, there's been some really interesting stuff. I just haven't had the time to stop and take photos of it or anything, but I think even that would be good enough. So what I might do now, I might just go just to the edge of this here, because I am on top of a kind of mountain here at the moment. I'll just go to the edge and I'll take a photo of that mountain in the background, because right now there's a lot of light on that and that could be quite a nice shot. But I think what the morning will bring might be a lot more interesting. I'm hoping that I'm going to be warm enough here. Obviously I do have a sleeping bag with me, so I should be fine. But it's definitely going to be interesting. This is kind of my first night out completely by myself, but as far as I know, I'm far enough away from houses or anything, so I think I should be fine. If anything, there might be some animals around, but I'm not sure. I have actually seen a rabbit hairballs on the way up here, which is pretty cool. The only thing that sucks is that I don't have my 300mm with me because I'm out here to capture some landscapes. So maybe next time I might make a trip out here again with my 300mm and see if I can get any wildlife shots. So I've just set my tripod up here with my camera on and my 16 to 35mm. That's all I've brought with me this time, which is very wide, and at the moment from where I am it's actually really hard to get a shot. So right now I'm trying to get this mountain here in the background, but I've got all these trees here, so the tree line is making it very difficult. What I'm trying to do here is get this tree line in here, and then I have the mountain in the background, but as you see, the exposure is very different. So what I'm going to have to do here is expose for the background and then make a second exposure for the foreground. I'm going to shoot this at f10, and at the moment I've got it set to 250th of a second, which is exposed correctly for the background, but to be able to get the foreground correctly exposed, I'm going to have to go for around 1/30th of a second, which is quite a huge difference. But for me to make this shot, it's kind of the only way I'm going to be able to do it. I don't really care about going for a focus stacked image here. I don't mind that the foreground is actually blurry. It kind of just adds the effect because I'm just trying to get the background in. That's what I want. I want the mountain in the background. But yeah, let me take this shot, and I think I actually might move to the other side because there's actually some mountains in the background there with a nice valley with some light and a lot of shadows. So if I can find a good spot over there that I can get a good enough shot of that, that'll be really good. But otherwise, tomorrow is probably going to be the best bet for getting something nicer. So yeah, let's just check out this shot first and see what it looks like. Okay, so I was almost too late with this one. The mountains in the background have just got a little touch of light left. Otherwise, it's in complete shadow at the moment. The sun is just over there, and it's quite nice. It's quite stunning, and the colors in here are really pretty. So the trees behind me are glowing quite nicely, but I actually tried looking for a composition within the trees, but I didn't really see anything that I like. So I'm quickly going to try and get a shot of this, and I'm going to have to do a double exposure again. It's pretty much my only option. Basically, I'm just getting the foreground in where this moss is just underneath me, and then I'm focusing on the mountain in the background. But right now I'm shooting this at 1/130th of a second to get the foreground in focus, and I have it at f9, and to get the background in focus I'm gonna have to shoot, or not in focus, but get the background properly exposed. I have to shoot it around 1/125th of a second. But yeah, that pretty much seems like the only way to do this. I think it could actually turn out to be quite a nice shot, just where the light is glowing on the mountain. Obviously it's really far away, so I'm getting a lot of what's here in the foreground in. What would have been really helpful right now is a 7200mm. That's actually something I'm still waiting to arrive to be able to use. So next time I'll probably have that with me when I'm doing this, because getting those mountains in the background with a 16-35mm lens is almost impossible, and you really have to make the right composition for something that's around you and use the foreground wisely to make it work. And obviously with me being up here, I really wanted to get images of the mountains, but it's turning out to be a lot harder than I thought it would be. So I just have to make the most of what I get. Alright, so I'm gonna get into the hammock now and I'm gonna get some rest, and then we'll see how things look in the morning. But as of right now, light is actually quite beautiful, but yeah, it is getting a little bit too dark and I'm tired, so I kind of just want to rest now. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning. I just found this little inland lake here, and the sun is just coming up behind it as well. So I thought this could be a nice, interesting shot. Just getting a bit of the water and getting the sunrise coming through the trees there in the background. I would have liked to have taken it at a different angle, but the problem is there's some power lines actually running through in the background. So I can't really get the shot that I was hoping to get, unless maybe I go onto the opposite side and then shoot this direction. But yeah, I kind of like what I'm seeing here right now. I think that can actually work. Decided to do this without using my tripod. I thought it would work a little bit better, just to give me a little bit more freedom and not faff around too much, so that I get the sun where it is. So pretty simple composition. I've got these bits of plants here in the foreground, and then just going out into the water there with the sun coming up in the back. So I thought I would just focus on the water, use these leaves in the foreground just to kind of add a little bit of emphasis to the image, but I'm not going to focus on them, so they'll be blurred out, which is fine. It's not the most amazing shot, but it's just something I saw as I was walking past, so I just want to see if it actually turns out to be any good. So I just thought it would be a good idea just to get out of the wind. So I've come down into this valley here, and time for me to have some breakfast and a coffee. Always a good idea to eat something in the morning, obviously. But yeah, having something nice and warm, it is gonna help in this cold. It's pretty freezing right now, and the wind, yeah, it's just not very fun at all. So I'm just gonna make myself some porridge and have a coffee, and then I should be good to go again. But definitely nice with this little break and a good breakfast. One thing's for sure is that I don't function very well when I'm hungry and tired. Last night was actually pretty hard sleeping in the hammock. It got really windy to a point where I started getting really cold. So realistically I should have had a little bit more clothes with me. even though it's in the middle of the summer, you can't really rely on it being that warm during the night. So I've definitely learned from a mistake, and I'll know to wear a little bit more next time. At least put on some woolen socks or something, because that will really help. I did have my clothes on in my sleeping bag, but not good enough. And obviously with being in a hammock, the wind is surrounding you and everything all the time, so you just get a little bit extra cold. So yeah, the night was hard, but well worth it. And it's always great to wake up in the middle of nature. It's so good. But yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm going to find today. I know there's a mountain up here behind me. I'm not going to go on top of it because it's going to take me so long, and I am only here for one night, and basically I have to go back home today. But what I want to do is at least go up and see if I can find a spot where I get a view of that mountain. So once I've had my breakfast and drank my coffee, I'll make my way through and see what I can find. Hopefully I do get a good shot, because so far I don't really feel like I've gotten anything that great, but yeah, I'm hoping for something good. So yeah, let's just see what happens. I finally managed to find an opening to be able to see this mountain here, but it's not really what I was looking for. It's nice, but composition wise, it just doesn't really look that interesting. And even though I do have the sun behind me right now, it's not really hitting the top of that mountain, so it just doesn't really seem to work. I'm kind of disappointed actually. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna keep walking until maybe I see a different angle, or I see the light change, or maybe even see a different mountain in the background. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep walking. I think I actually found a shot here that I can work with. I found this beautiful meadow here, and it just looks out onto the mountains in the distance. It is absolutely stunning. But finding a composition, not exactly easy. But I think I have something here. There's this tree just standing here that I think could really work. And then you got these nice cotton plants just in the grass below. It's just really interesting. And it's obviously, with me using a 16 to 35mm lens, it's really hard to get those mountains in, but having that really nice foreground element really helps in this situation. And I think this tree will really work. It actually stands out. It's so different to all the other trees that are around here. So yeah, I think this could work really good. I'm gonna go for about an f16 shot, because I just want to get as much detail through here, because everything's at such long distances. I want to be able to capture the detail across those distances and try and get the mountain in as well. I'm going to be focusing pretty much on the tree, so that's what's going to be in focus, but by me shooting the f16, the background should come through as well. And at least with getting the exposure of the sky and the background right, I'm having to shoot at 1/60th of a second, but I have to drop down to 1/40th of a second to be able to get the tree correctly exposed. So that's a little bit of a challenge here, but I think I might be able to find some kind of mid-ground to make this work. But otherwise, this view is so beautiful. it's gorgeous. It's extremely hard shooting in wide open spaces. I've come a little bit further down into these meadows. There's a few of them that keep dropping down, and I'm just trying to find things that stick out, but it's really hard. And right now I've got this mountain in the background, and I just found a little lake here that I think really could work. Trying to get a composition with this, not easy at all. But I've managed to set my tripod low, quite low down to the water, so I'm getting the water in, and there's some plants or some grass and stuff growing out of the water, and there's just this little dead tree in the background that I'm kind of using as an element in the photo, because there's so much green, and then this one small little dead tree is grey, and it's just something different. But it is actually really small in the frame, so I'm not really sure how this is going to work, but I just like the scene. It looks really nice. There's different layers, there's different things to look at, and then you got the mountain in the background as well, so there's just some interesting elements here, and I think it could work out really nicely. The one benefit about me shooting this way at the moment is the sun is shining that way, so it means I'm able to use a higher shutter speed, which really helps in this situation. So I've managed to put my shutter speed at 1/500th of a second, shooting at f9, just to be able to get a nice depth of field, because I'm focusing around the center of the image, and with that will pretty much expose nicely and get a nice focus on the foreground and the background. I think, of course, foreground will still be slightly blurred out, but f9 should work out really nicely. But yeah, let me take this shot, and then after that I'm gonna start heading back down the mountain and start going towards home. And while I'm on my way down, I probably will stop and find a few other things to photograph. But yeah, so far this has been nice. Not exactly what I was hoping to find, but it has worked out. And I think a place like this during the winter would look absolutely amazing. Snow-covered mountains and just everything full of snow here would look absolutely great. But I'll definitely need skis to be on here, because it is gonna be really deep. Yeah, anyway, let me focus on getting this shot, and I'm gonna head my way down the mountain. So I seem to have found myself by a little stream here, and I think it could make a really nice image. The greens around the edges are absolutely stunning. They're very vibrant, and you're getting some light coming in from the sun, hitting on some of it in the background and around the edges, and the rocks are kind of like this browny green color, and you've got the water just running down the sides of it. I think it could make a really interesting shot. So I've just got my camera set up here, pointing down at this bit of water here, and then just going up, and in the background it's nice and green, and that is kind of what I'm going to focus on as well. But I'm going to cut the trees out, so basically I'll just have the top of the image about there, and then get the rest of that in. But I think this could be quite a nice image. I'm going to shoot this at 1/10 of a second and f20. I'm trying to get the motion in the water, so that's why I'm shooting at 1/10 of a second. And obviously with it being light outside, I'm having to put it up at f20 to be able to shoot that low. But having it f20 is kind of a good thing because I actually want everything to be in focus. I'm going to focus on where this first little bit of water coming down is, and then I'll yeah, it should work out fine. I might take two different shots just to make sure, but I'll focus firstly on the first waterfall, and then I'll take another one focusing on the mid-ground, because more often than not, the focusing on the mid-ground will actually give you a better result. So yeah, let me just take this shot, and hopefully it turns out to be a pretty good one. Probably gone about halfway down the mountain now, and I've kind of found myself on this old dirt road here, which is pretty cool. But the only problem is every time I see the view of the mountains now, all these tall trees are in the way, so I can't really get a great composition, which kind of sucks. So what I think I might do is just make my way pretty much all the way down, and then see if I can hopefully get a shot of the landscape then, because at that point hopefully I should have an open view of everything. I mean, what I see is great, it's absolutely stunning, the view there is beautiful, but it's kind of hard when you can't really take a good shot of it. So I'm just gonna make my way all the way down, and then I'll just have to see what happens. Finally made it all the way down, and I've ended up at this lake here with the view in the background of the mountains, although oddly enough it doesn't look as great now down here. It looks so much better when I was up there. So but yeah, I'm gonna make the most of this and get my final shot. I'm not really gonna bother with using a tripod. I don't really have much space, and to be honest, getting a composition here right now is actually quite difficult. There's nothing really to play with or use to really make this work. There's some grass in the water, and I have this tree hanging over which I can kind of use, but other than that, not that great. But I'm gonna go for around an f9 shot here at 500th of a second. But honestly, not my best shot out of this video. But I did want to get it, and it's taken me so long to get down here, the lights changed. I am absolutely shattered, and I still have to make my way home. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning, and it's now coming to 12 o'clock. So yeah, my legs hurt, and I'm ready to go home and rest. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this one. It was really interesting sleeping up on the mountainside, and I'll definitely be doing it again. I think it was quite cool. But next time I might even do something with wildlife. I didn't see an awful much. I did see a few things here and there, but I did notice a lot of tracks from moose and some other animals as well. So that's definitely something I can keep my eye on. But anyway, for now, I'll see you all next time.